Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar organized by WeUni in partnership with OPIT, Open Institute of Technology. My name is Carolina. It's really nice to meet you, and I'll be your host for today's webinar on behalf of WeUni. As you can see here, I'm not alone. Today, we will assist to a really interesting webinar that will introduce key concepts related to artificial intelligence, responsible AI, and the skills required to navigate an increasingly AI-driven society. So this session will also provide an overview, of course, of OPIT's academic approach and online programs designed in alignment with European higher education standards. We have a really full agenda actually today, and we are here with two amazing panelists. We are here with Greta Majocchi. She is the head of marketing and admissions at OPIT. And we are here also with Zorina Aliata, and she is the Director of NI Enablement at Wolters Kluwer and also a professor, of course, in the Master in Responsible Artificial Intelligence at OPIT. So today you have the possibility to assist this amazing webinar to learn more about artificial intelligence. And of course, you have the possibility to ask all the questions you want about specifically this topic, but also about OPIT. So if you have anything to ask about the courses, the application process, anything that you have in mind about your study path, you can do it at the end of the presentation of Sorina and Greta, and we will go through the questions, and of course we will answer to you. We're also curious to know if you want to, unfortunately, we can see your faces, but if you want, you can type in the chat where you're looking from, where you're coming from, sorry, because we are really curious to know. And as I mentioned before, we will have a Q&A session, so don't be shy, just type all of your questions, even during the presentation, so we can read them at the end. And also, I'd like to remind you that you will receive a certificate of attendance if you want for this masterclass. So you will receive the link to get the certificate at the end of this presentation. Stay tuned because we will post the link later. In the meantime, see someone in the chat from Ukraine, from Guatemala. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here connected with us. For those of you who just connected now, we are here with OPIT, Open Institute of Technology, with Greta and Zarina. We will learn more about artificial intelligence, so we will have many interesting information today. Okay, so I think that since we have a really full agenda, I leave the floor to Greta and Zarina for the presentation. So enjoy this webinar. See you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolina, and welcome to everybody. I see many different countries, so from wherever you are, this is also typical of OPIT. We have students from more than 95 countries, and Zorina, she was just telling us like she's originally from Europe, moved, like works in the US, worked also in Europe, and she connects every day from different places. That's live online learning, and we're happy about that. Now I'm gonna give you a few insights about OPIT, and then I leave the floor to Zorina, and then if we have time, I will continue about OPIT. But if we don't, please reach out to me to get more information about our degrees. First of all, OPIT, we are an online institution offering secondary, so postgraduate degrees, bachelor and master of science degrees in technology. Our mission is really to make sure that everybody can afford a high standard education in the field of technology. So we want to kind of unlock progress and employment within the specific sectors, which is technology. And why is that? Because technology now is kind of changing all the way we're doing business, specifically AI. That's why Zorina, who is like an expert, she has worked for many different companies before, and the company she works for now, and then she knows a lot about AI. So the idea is that how this is going to impact and how this is going to change the way we work, our career. How can you do that? So learning this is very important and fundamental, especially considering the change in the careers that are happening today and tomorrow. So about us, we are an accredited institution recognized in Europe and worldwide. We are fully online, so that gives you the flexibility to connect from wherever you are. As I said, we focus on technology, so computer science, data science, AI, digital business, cybersecurity, anything that is related to technology today. Our courses and programs are designed around what is important for companies. So they are career aligned. And also we make sure that our professor, our faculty, like Zorina is a full example, just have the knowledge that can bring to class that is not only academic, but it's also like business supported. This support is always there. Online doesn't mean that you are abandoned. Actually, we do have tutors, we have the faculty, we have the coordinators, we have the career service. So you can reach out to us and make sure that your path is as enjoyable as possible. And finally, according like both the fees and the way we actually do teach, and we make sure that we are inclusive and affordable. So the most important topic is AI today, but in general, we have a faculty and academic excellence aligned with different type of industry. This is just a snapshot of our professors. You can see the full list of faculty on our website, but just to give you an idea, it is a mix of professors coming from academia and professors coming from the business. Like Zorina was just telling me that she's also studying to get a PhD. So our professors never stop learning, like our students as well. And that's great to know. All right, so now without any further ado, I would like to leave the floor to Zorina about the masterclass today is AI Skills for Life. So preparing you and every citizen for the future. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me try and share my screen. Hopefully it works. We'll make it big. Everybody can see okay?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I minimize this. So yeah, I thought today I'm going to talk about something that we're actually going through right now at my job, and a lot of companies, at least here in the US, are going through this AI transformation. And we're realizing that AI has become now a skill that everyone needs. It's not anymore just for developers. It's not just for people who create the AI, but it is for everyone and each one of us to know how to use it. I think that now everyone understands why AI is important. I am going to present today in two sections. One, what I mean by that. Why do I think AI education is important for each and every person? And then, if you want to actually develop AI, if you want to start your career in AI, I'm going to have a few slides to kind of help you navigate that and kind of explain where things are at the moment. So I don't have to tell you that AI is here. I tell my students that, I know AI is popular because like my mother uses it and she's like, in her late 70s and never used a computer in her life. And now she's using AI on her phone. My hairdresser is using AI to promote her business, and my trainer at the gym is using AI. So literally every person is using AI for a lot of things. It is just here, and it's everyone's business. It's in every domain. I have had working at Amazon for the last 7 years. I have had customers across each and every industry possible, from agriculture, construction, aviation, and anything else in between. Companies use this. Things that we do every day are infused with AI already. What is happening, though, is that there is a growing knowledge divide. Advanced countries, such as here in the US, the innovation pace is huge. Every day, there's new things happening, and you run and run and run, and every new idea is appreciated, and you can immediately start a startup. It costs $75 to register your company online. That takes 5 minutes. You have a company, and then you can go and build your idea. That's the pace of change that is in the US, and that's how it's moving right now. That's how fast is everything moving. And that's great. And a lot of these classes and courses are all in English. What happens to the rest of the world, right? There are still a lot of people who are being left behind. So there are places where people don't have access to AI. They don't speak English commonly, right? It's not so common for them to just go online and take a class. They can't simply do that. So unfortunately, AI literacy has to touch everybody and has to bring everyone together into this new wave. Otherwise, there will be people left behind, and that's not ever good for, it's not a recipe for success for the human race when that ever happens, right? So we started to develop these programs that are just called AI literacy, literally teaching people who are not technical, who know nothing about how you build it, but how to use the AI day to day, right? How can I make the best of it? If you don't have that, if you don't understand how this works, you could become a passive subject of some algorithm, right? Let's say you're applying for a loan at your bank to get a house, and the bank says you're denied because their algorithm said so. Well, you have the right, at least in the US, I'm sure in Europe as well, you have the right to ask, why was I denied? I want to know exactly why, right? And they have to provide that back. They have to explain why the AI has made that decision. And if you don't do that, if you don't understand how AI made a decision, how it worked, you cannot like fight against it, right? In case it was wrong. So if you don't ask anything, you will be affected by AI because it's used everywhere, but you will be powerless. So you need to understand, I think everybody needs to understand at least a little bit of how this technology works, what it really does and what it doesn't do. It's not magic, it's not a fantasy, it's real things that we do every day. I think the most painful effect that we're already seeing in the US is how the AI revolution is changing jobs. And you might have seen announcements recently. I think in January, several companies laid off tens of thousands of people, including Amazon. They laid off 14,000 people in January. Again, they had done the same in October of last year. And they said that part of the reason for laying off people is because of AI. So it's not entirely a lie. It's true. AI is changing the way we do jobs. I've been in IT for my whole life. I used to be a programmer, right? Started as a programmer, always still code. I still like to do things. That job is probably a software engineer job is one of the most affected right now. Entry levels, software engineers are easily replaced by AI assistants who are doing a great job now. And I'm sure you're familiar with programs like Cursor and GitHub Copilot and Kiro from Amazon and so forth that can write code for you better than a junior programmer. So outside of IT and software engineering, we're seeing AI changing jobs in general. The other day, a few weeks ago, I ended up at the emergency room because my cat scratched me. Uh, and the doctor who saw me, he came in and he had a tablet and he had a chat. I could see a chat bot, right? That he was. So I had to ask. I said, "Are you using AI for this?" And he said, "Yes, it's mandated that all doctors in that hospital had to use this AI to help them with the diagnosis, could create notes for them. He didn't have to write down any notes. He would just speak, and the AI would take the notes for him." And he said it's mandated, it's normal. They're now using it everywhere, right? So his job had changed. Instead of him, taking notes and talking to me about something, now he was using a tool that he had to learn how to use, right? The job had changed. I don't think that AI will take all of our jobs. I might be wrong, but I don't think that will happen. But I think that, again, each and every one of us should learn the tools of AI so we can control how our jobs are changing and we can learn these tools and use them in our jobs. We are also seeing entirely new industries and careers that didn't exist before. So it's a tide, right? Some roles will go down, but some roles are rising up. Just in case you're not familiar with how much we use AI, we're using it everywhere. So I know at home you probably have either Google Assistant or Alexa or Echo or some kind of assistant that maybe, I don't know, monitors your lights or locks your doors or anything like that as an alarm We have here in the US, we have Ring cameras at the door that, you can see who's at the door. You can talk to them even if you're not home. You can unlock the door, lock the door, right? And just really helpful things, saving your energy, smart air conditioning and heating devices that turn off if you're not there. These are now common. I think that in every home, they cost very little, right? So everybody can afford them. And they're powered by AI. I'm sure you see it at the stores when you go to stores, when you shop online. I can tell you that we have worked at Amazon with customers around the world in retail. Everybody uses AI tools to make sure that they serve you the right products when you go to their website. So if you go to Amazon.com, you will see specific recommendations, personalized experience for you. You will not see the same thing that I would see, right? Because we have different histories, we bought different things, and Amazon knows that we have different interests, right? So for all of that, that is all AI, and that has been for several years. I think one of the places where it first started was personalized customer experience. In healthcare, I mentioned my doctor earlier, very common to use for diagnostics. And a couple of really cool things that I've seen were patient outcomes, which means how can we get the patients to get healthier faster and not come back into the hospital? How do we make sure that the visit is complete so they don't have to come back? So for that, you use machine learning, you use AI, you look at patterns of behavior, you look at symptoms, you look at history, and then you come up with a prediction that this patient might need extra care, or it could possibly happen that they might have to come back. So how do we prevent that now that we have them here? I've also worked in really interesting projects in drug manufacturing plants where we used AI to enhance chemical reactions, which I don't know much about. But of course, we worked with chemists and scientists to do that. But we provided the machine learning algorithms to optimize for specific variables, which saved them a lot of time in the manufacturing process. And that means they could produce drugs faster, right? They were better for everyone. There's a lot of work in producing personalized drugs. So like I would get an aspirin, but it would be different than if you get an aspirin, right? So quite amazing stuff that is happening in healthcare. Again, one of the domains in which AI really, really made a difference, and it's used very commonly now. And of course, in education, where we are here, I think Opit just launched their AI assistant a few weeks ago, I believe, and it's quite awesome. We've been playing with it since last year internally, but just having this personalized learning paths and the tutoring that you need that you get through this assistant, right? And if you want to develop any skill, you can. So AI is changing the way we learn, right? The way we act, the way we shop, and the way we live. And some of the industries that we saw, just a couple of examples, logistics, for example, I really liked, personally, I really like this kind of thing because it's truly, I think, what machine learning and AI are good at, which is optimizing a certain output and variable. And so when you think of route optimization, right, like think through Europe, how all the trucks are going from warehouse to warehouse carrying inventory of products, right? How do you optimize that? There's quite an awesome, and yeah, I know I love math, but it's quite an awesome math problem to solve. Using machine learning and AI, we can optimize those routes, right? Or in case of a disaster, or in case of flooding, or some bad weather, how do you reroute everything so products still get what they're supposed to get? So very interesting problems there. A lot of AI machine learning used in logistics now and over supply chains in general. And a lot of that happened during COVID crisis, where, as you know, a lot of the logistics internationally were disrupted. So we had to come up with better ways, be smarter about how we move these products from place to place. Another awesome place to use AI and machine learning, agriculture. I've worked with this really huge farming company in the US that owns many, many farms. They grow produce. They use machine learning to predict when to plant their strawberries and their lettuce, right? For maximum crops and for maximum usability. So they live on a very thin margin of profit. So for them, any 1% improvement in their crop, it's really good, right? Then finance, of course, finance is the domain I work in, so I know a lot about AI here. Fraud detection is like one of my favorite things, not to do, to catch it using AI. But AI has been a great tool, and machine learning has been a great tool in improving fraud detection. And now even with generative AI, it's even better, right? We can find patterns of speech between bad actors and making sure that we detect more fraud than before. And of course, education, like I said, we just launched our own assistant, and it's very helpful for both the teachers and the students. So why do I think that AI literacy is a fundamental skill? And I think that all of us should know how to do it, just like we know how to read and write. Some of the data there says, for example, it says there, Microsoft, one of the institutes, find that if you know AI, you'll get paid 23% more money on your salary, right? If you put AI in your resume when you apply for whatever job, it doesn't have to be an AI job, any job, and you put in a few things about AI on your resume, you can expect a bigger salary if you bring that knowledge. And you don't have to code, right? You don't have to be an engineer. You can be, and we'll see in a little bit, but it's AI literacy. We're talking beyond technical skills. We're not talking about building the AI. We're talking about you should know how to use the AI tools out there. If you do that, right, we can also rethink education. How do we do this? For example, we have at OPIT a course that I'm teaching, which is critical thinking and soft skills. And I've made it all about AI. You need to have this new type of skills like critical thinking that we didn't have before. You need to have these in a world where you're using AI tools. So we have to rethink education, kind of redesign the curriculum, right? And prepare students that they will be in this type of careers that are shaped by AI. If you do so, right, you can boost your productivity. So let's say you learn how to use some of the tools, you can definitely supercharge whatever you're producing. And like I said, you can also make more money, better wages, higher employability, and better job quality, right? These are all jobs that are in a nice office, where or remote. Many jobs are remote. I work fully remote from home. So, it's very, very good for anyone. Not to mention, right, if you have this skill, then you are kind of proofing yourself against whatever happens in the future. Even whatever AI will do and will change, if you keep up and you understand the tools, you can easily learn, right, and move forward. If you don't learn now, then, like I said, you might be left behind as everybody else moves along. If you're looking for places to connect with others, OpenAI has a really cool job platform. It's not the only one, but it's one place where you can go and see what's out there, and meet other AI folks. There are many, many, many new websites that do this for specifically for AI. OpenAI is one of the most common ones. If you're wondering if AI is a bubble, I hope you don't, because otherwise you probably wouldn't be here. It's not a bubble. I don't believe. I don't believe it's going anywhere. It's too popular. Um, and also, everyone is investing in AI. We've had, I believe, this year, 2026, and it's only what, March 4th. Already the large companies, Anthropic, Microsoft, Amazon, they've invested more than $800 billion for their AI development for this year already. As long as there's that kind of money being thrown into the industry, this industry is not going to disappear, right? Everybody is pushing ahead. Is it mature? Not yet. Far from it, I would say. It's in its infancy, right? It's a young industry, but it is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. And again, if you have this knowledge, right, if you're savvy, then you'll be yourself more productive, more valuable to your company. And I just before this meeting, I had another meeting on a UN committee that I volunteer with to create smarter cities around the world. And I love that initiative. I think it's just it first off, the city of the future looks awesome in that vision that the committee has. And we are hundreds of people from around the world who just come and try to contribute our skills into building this better world for all of us. I'm a big believer that, we know how many problems are in the world, and especially now, there's so much conflict and poverty and unhappiness, right? I'm one of those people who believes that technology could really solve a lot of these problems if we use it the right way, right? Which is why I'm doing this. To me, if we use the technology well, we can have what I call the lucky future, where all of us will just have good luck all the time. We will live in a great place, right? Our house and our city will be smart, so we don't have to go and wait in line to pay a bill or be confused about a permit that we need or, who is, I don't know, providing my clean water. All of that will be taken care of, right? So we're lucky. We don't have any bad luck about how we live and how we move around in our own city, right? Proactive healthcare before you get sick. And in the US, this is a big deal. I know in Europe it's not so much, but can we have things that predict, right? Things that could happen and get ahead of it before it happens. This is an awesome thing. Imagine, right? You don't have to get sick to go to the doctor. You are proactive about your health. You do things to prevent stuff as soon as the doctor sees the signs, some signs, before the disease actually happens. And then now we're all learning all the time. I personally like to learn, so to me this is a great advantage. I now have free training everywhere, and I know you guys are all younger than me, chances are, but I'm old enough to remember the life before internet started, when I was longing to get a book or to learn about a subject and I could not, right? Because it just was not possible. Well, now the fact that you can go online and learn about anything you want, and you can do that with the help of AI. Now, every week I go and read the latest papers from AI. I load them up into one of my AI tools, and I ask for, okay, give me a summary. Is this related to the subjects that I'm researching and I'm interested in? Make a summary of what is going on. And then if I like something, I will go and deep dive with my AI tool, ask questions, talk to the document. That to me is awesome, right? And anybody can learn like that to understand at the level that you're at very complex subjects. We didn't have that before. What we're working on as well right now is to have this better work-life balance. So if you have, somebody said, I don't want AI to create a movie. I want AI to do my laundry, right? To wash my dishes. So there are already several companies that are developing little cute robots that would be at home doing mundane tasks, right? Like folding your laundry or cleaning your house or, things like that. So we are all striving for that. So imagine if technology would enable all of this and it would become just commonplace, right? Something that we all do, then we will all be so lucky, right, to have all of these things happen to us. The way we really see it work, and as we go right now through AI transformation with my company and several other companies, we're all just like, feels like we're moving a big mountain of, a new era in software development and in service development. But what we're seeing is that humans are not replaced. We so much need the human brain. I use AI assistants, code assistants a lot. As I'm working for my PhD, I code a lot and I research a lot, and I need to just try out and experiment things, and I use AI assistants. And I tell you, if I didn't know how to code and how to create an application, it will not work. You still need very much the human brains, the experts, people who understand the systems. So the humans still have to lead. You can automate a lot of the routine, repetitive tasks, right? And even complex tasks like go and pay all my bills on the first of the month. Just go to my bank account and pay my bills. I can automate that piece. But who's setting up the bills? Who's controlling? Who's putting in the guardrails? That's still me, right? You still maintain the most of the control. And we're seeing that in each and every application that we're doing with AI. Human in the loop, still very, very important, and it's still there. But now the skills that you're using are different, right? Now you're using the soft skills, now you're using your critical thinking, you're using creativity. And in case it wasn't, if you guys are not experts in AI right now, generative AI, right? It's basically based on large language models that have been trained on all the data, all the digital data that's out there, right? So they know a lot of things. But when you talk about a new creative idea, right? They will look at what they know and propose something that somebody said somewhere, but it will not be truly a new idea, right? That is still very much something that our imagination can provide. So the way that this works the best is when we work together, right? Use AI as a tool, but use your human skills and your knowledge of your domain to lead. I wanted to give you an example of how we're teaching AI to everyone in a company. This company has 20,000 employees around the world. Some in most of in the US, but also many in Europe and I believe Asia. Yeah. So they wanted to teach everyone, and this is not the only company. Many companies in the US are going through this. Every person, not just developers, not just business people, not just project managers, everyone who works in the company is learning AI. And the level, we have 3 levels. One was level 1, just foundational. This is for everybody, including, people who clean at the company, everyone who's an employee. They need to take this level 1 foundation. And all we're teaching them is how to use AI tools. for example, this company has, I think it was ChatGPT enterprise licenses, right? So people could use ChatGPT in a safe, secure way, where, they could upload their own company documents and it was safe. So we taught them how to use AI tools, how to use ChatGPT effectively, how to write good prompts so they can get interesting information out of the documents, right? Most importantly, we told them what AI is and is not, right? What are the limitations? It's not a magical thing. Check everything. Make sure it doesn't make assumptions that you're not aware of, right? It seems easy when you talk to it because it understands and responds well, but it's also hard to actually create something that is stable, solid, and you're 100% is good. So understand what are the limitations, understand that it doesn't know, it doesn't, it's not truly intelligent yet. We're not there. We don't have AGI, general intelligence yet. This is just, again, trained on a lot of data. It knows a lot of things. You will pick a most common denominator answer and give it to you. That's all it does. Okay, so these are the limitations. Understand that if you use these AI tools, you have to be, ethical about it. You cannot use, oh, tell me how can I steal money from my employer using AI, right? So you have to have a code of ethics in using these tools so you don't harm others, your coworkers or your company or the society, right? And then, of course, we put in the critical thinking skills as part of this AI foundational training because we felt that it's very important that people understand it's still human creativity and empathy, experience, and just this instinct of somebody who has the experience doing the same job for a long time. Those cannot be replaced by a machine. Level 2 was, started to get more complicated. Like, can you redesign an entire workflow? For example, paying my bills every month. Can you redesign this thinking AI first, right? What would be a good automation opportunity? And then starting to create this simple AI agents that would do this type of tasks. And we provided a platform, a UI, so they didn't have to know how to code the agents. It was just a matter of visually picking simple agents to create. And then the level 3, which is a solution expert, right? This would be like an actual person who can, program code, and this is more for developers and such. And the way we taught it was through micro-learning, which is now the only way that a lot of folks would learn, just like 5-10 minute modules. If it's any much longer than that, people lose their patience. We also had very successful workshops, which was in person. So those seem to be very successful. People love this, just getting together in a room, and we all learn, take to the whole thing. Everybody learns how to do something, and then we pass a certification together. We set up, of course, self-paced courses. So all the materials are online. People can do it wherever they wanted. And then we had communities of practice. So that's like groups where like I would go and post news and, cool articles and new training and things like that. And we created a course catalog that, it worked in this case. This is just an example of how many hours, right, of training we took here. And we had a whole rollout strategy for about a year to start piloting with the just early adopters, and then keep going to the people who wanted to go further, right? So these are people who were like maybe project managers, business analysts, and then developers who wanted to finish up the whole program. And we measure and adapt at every step. Is this working? Change the curriculum. Things are changing in the industry and so forth. So again, just an example of how this could work. And we're still in the middle of this. We're in phase 2 right now, just kicked off phase 2. So we're still in the middle of this. Phase 3 it's also going in parallel for developers. So what I'm saying is learn AI. You are already learning since you're here. We have lots of courses at OPIT, of course. There's free training online. Engage daily. There are so many cool AI tools out there. On a daily basis, I use at least 5 or 6. Most of the time, I chain them together. Like I create a prompt here, then I run the prompt there, then I finalize the paper in another one. And then, you can champion AI education everywhere you go, right? If you know how to do something, maybe you can also teach others. And then I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about, well, that's about using AI, but what if you want to do AI? What if you want to actually have a career in AI? Well, I want to say that you are at the right time. I came to the US when I was in my 20s, and it was 1999. I know it seems like an eternity ago, but the internet was just getting started. So I was very lucky because I was a computer programmer and I got a job in about 5 minutes. People were dying to hire me because I knew how to code. And at that time, as the internet was growing, everybody needed programmers. So I was very lucky. It's just a matter of timing. It was not necessarily my merit. And from there, I grew my entire career. You guys are right now at that level with AI. It's just starting. If you get in now, right, you can build a whole career on this, right? And you get in now and learn it. Yes, you will change. Yes, you will be more, who knows what we're going to talk about in 2 years. But if you get in now and you understand the basics, you can build on that. 5 years, 6 years ago, when I was looking for AI jobs, there were exactly 2 with with the words AI in the title. Today, I looked a couple of weeks ago, last time I looked, 22,000 AI jobs on one website alone. Great career opportunity, if you ask me. And you don't have to be technical. Beyond technical, you can just do applied AI, which is about ethical AI, responsible AI. Can you evaluate the outputs of what AI is doing? And can you just have AI life skills to help you navigate the daily life? For tech focus, there's a couple of roles that are new. I think the AI engineer is a new role that just came up maybe a couple of years ago with generative AI. I don't think we had this before. And this is just about developing models. Machine learning engineer, we had this role before, and this is for machine learning, which is not generative AI, not the talking language one, but the one we had before that, which is optimizing variables and outputs. And a machine learning engineer would be somebody who's more about like DevOps, platforms, things like that. They are the ones who put models into production, right? They make it actually work for millions of people, right? They are the ones who do that. So it's very much an engineering and DevOps type job. The data scientists, these are the people who build the models, right? Looking at the data, like maybe, all of your sales data, right? Can we build an algorithm to predict sales for next quarter? So this would be a data scientist. And then we have research. I think, and myself being in my own PhD right now, I'm doing a lot of this, right? AI research. You need to look at new things, what's possible, and research and document what is happening so others can learn and move forward. What I like in the AI a lot is that we have a ton of roles that are not technical. If you're not into coding, you're not into building, learning DevOps, that's fine. AI product manager, I think, is the most, I don't know, fast-growing jobs out there. I've seen this everywhere. The product manager has now become somebody who can envision AI-first products. And using these tools, they can quickly create prototypes. It's an awesome job. If you have interest in product or if you have any background in developing product, for sure you should look at this and bring AI to your job. Same if you have an interest in policy or ethics. You can be an AI ethicist or a policy analyst. There's several, as you know, in Europe, there's the EU Act, right, that companies have to comply with. So that's going to be quite a few jobs open there. Sales and marketing, you can do that as well. We have our sales team, they're using AI extensively. I'm actually surprised how much they use AI for, how many tools they use to grow their business. And then a new type of job that appeared, which is a trainer. So you might see announcements for this on LinkedIn and job markets. Can you train the AI? Can you label data, right? And sometimes, I mean, it's just as it sounds, but it's a non-technical role. And if you're interested, you can just to get in, just to see how it works. It's a good entry point. I recommend that as you search for AI, you use your AI tools to boost your job search for job matching, for personalized learning, of course, and for sure optimize your resume with AI. It makes a huge difference. These are services we used to pay for. Now you can do it with AI. My favorite is the interview simulators where you can use AI, and you don't have to use these tools here. You can just use any Perplexity, Claude, any of the tools, Common, ChatGPT, whatever you use. And you can just say, hey, I want to role play that I'm interviewing for this job, for this position. And you will role play with you, and it will prepare you. So when you get to the interview, you're not nervous, you're not anxious, and you're prepared. And a couple of the things that you can do, of course, build your foundations, which is why I'm assuming you're here and you're going to OPIT, so you're already doing that. Huge recommendation from my side. You want to break into AI, and you maybe don't have experience, do some hands-on projects. There is a website called Kaggle. You might be familiar with it. They have competitions. You can go and create something. You can become like, you can make money. There's prizes and awards. Or you can just contribute to open source AI projects and build a portfolio. If you can, try some internships or get into some teams that do AI, even if it's just to learn. And what I like the most, if you're doing anything else like healthcare or finance, see how AI applies to that. Because going in with domain knowledge and AI, that gives you a huge advantage. So a couple more ideas on how to build your portfolio. I mentioned Kaggle. You can just try the Cursor or Lovable. I love Lovable. If you happen to follow me on LinkedIn, I think I post a lot about Lovable because I use it a lot. I've created a bunch of apps in there, very easy to use. But all the others, Replit, GitHub Copilot, all of these are tools for you to low code or no code applications that you're dreaming about. So build your portfolio. And yeah, I'd say empower yourself with as many AI skills as you can. Of course, having the fluency, which you're already doing here, taking classes at universities, of course, at OPIT, but don't also look online at anything else that it's free. And again, you are at a good timing right now to make a real good investment into your future career and life. I have never seen any technology grow as fast as this, and I've seen the internet grow. This is way faster than whatever happened before. I don't think it will stop anytime soon, even if we all know the technology is now mature, but it is amazing enough that we can use for so many things right now. Our jobs will change, all of them. Our industries will change, and probably our lives will change because of this. So I'm saying take control, learn what this thing is, learn the tools, and then you are in control and you understand what is happening, right? If you have any problems in your industry at your work that you want to solve, try and solve those using AI. If you can do this, if you can apply the skills to what you do, then I think you can adapt and thrive. All right. That's all that I had, and I wanted to leave a few minutes for questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Zarina, for the interesting presentation and for all the useful information you gave us today. I see some questions. If you agree with me, Greta, we can move to the questions about the Zarina presentation and then we can go to the Opit ones. Okay. So the first one is, how can people without a technical background start building practical and meaningful AI skills for work and everyday life?
Right. So hopefully I gave you a couple of pointers in the presentation, since I understand you asked this as I was talking. So hopefully you got some answers. You don't need to be technical. That's what I like about this. Everybody and anybody can get into the domain. So my recommendation would be to try one of the tools I mentioned, such as the simplest one. I think it's lovable.dev. And I don't know if you're a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. But on March 8th, International Women's Day, they are having a huge hackathon. Lovable is. It's called She Builds. And if you participate, you can, again, win prizes. You can organize competitions in your city. Just awesome stuff. So go get involved. Go get involved. You don't need to know anything technical. You open the tool and you say, my husband used it the other day. He opened the tool and he said, I want to build an app for bird watching. He likes to watch birds, and then birds fly and they tell, the app will tell you what kind of bird it was. And I don't know, apparently it's a thing. People have this as a hobby. And then Lovable will just build your entire app. All you have to do is imagine it, right? You just tell him what to do, and then you can change it. So start now. Nothing's stopping you. This costs like a few dollars a month. I think there are some of them, for some of smaller ones, that free. You don't even have to pay anything, right? They give you some free stuff. Go and start right now and see where it takes you, right? That's what I would recommend. Do it. I'm a big doer. So that's my recommendation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And then I see actually two similar questions that is about privacy, autonomy, and fairness. Two people are asking, how can we balance technological innovation with the protection of individual rights, such as privacy, autonomy? And another one is also dedicated to the sectors like healthcare or law without compromising data privacy and security.
So if you're asking like what companies are doing about this, I can assure you that they're doing a lot to protect your data, because they have to by law, or else they get fined lots of money. So if you are wondering, like, well, should I go to ChatGPT now has a medical advisor? Should I go there and tell it my problems? Is that, going to in any way take my data and, send it somewhere? They have many things in place to make sure, and read the disclaimers, but they probably have very clear boundaries of what happens to your data. Companies are very aware of this. So privacy of your data is paramount. And the way this is done in practice is, for example, our company, right? We work with OpenAI, right? So to use their models. But we have clear boundaries in our systems, which is our own data as we use the model does not leave our virtual private cloud, our VPC. It stays within our network. So it never goes to OpenAI, right? And then on top of that, we have legal agreements. We have NDA that says, hey, OpenAI, we will pay you for use of your model, but you cannot use my company data to give it to my competitors or somebody else, right? So all of these things are very well thought out, because again, companies do not want to take your data privacy, because then they will have to pay you. So I wouldn't worry about it. If you go through regular channels, through a reputable company, read the disclaimers, right, and understand how they use your data, but you should be okay. Your data will not go to God knows where to be read by anybody. If you use your own tools, again, be careful, right? I wouldn't put like my bank info, all my account numbers in just OpenAI when it's free, the free version, and send it out there without any understanding of, where exactly does it go. I wouldn't personally do that. But if you do it through your company or through university, right, who already has these things in place, that have these guardrails in place, you should be okay.
Thank you so much. And another student, Natalia, is asking, what are the three newest AI tools to learn nowadays? I thought it could be a good idea to learn a new tool every week, or something like that to get familiar.
I don't know if, yeah, every week. But so, well, I'll tell you a couple that I'm using that I love. Gamma, that app, I'm going to put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Um, Dectopus. Um, for research, Perplexity AI will get you real-time things, and you can use this um, as you build your app. Perplexity can scan the web in real time. So let's say I built a little news app that I was going to bring specific news on a subject, right? I use Perplexity because it's the one that can go real time and bring me the latest news, right? So others like ChatGPT and others are trained, and so they have a cutoff time. So the information is as of, I don't know, April 2025, right? But Perplexity will go right now and find you the latest things. My favorite to write is Claude by far. Um, it is awesome, and I think maybe you've read Claude Code and Claude Cowork. I'm typing them all in. These are the latest from Claude, and they are awesome tools, safe to use as well. So for sure, look at Cowork. They say you'll be like a coworker, like you can have, your own team to build your own team of assistants who can do anything. So um, I have not fully tested. I'm in the middle of testing it myself, so I don't have a full opinion on it, but a lot of my colleagues love it. So definitely try that. Other things, like I said, Lovable, I'll put it in again because you can go there and just get things done. Same with Cursor, same idea. This will build the apps for you. So you can look at those. And yeah, another favorite, Quillbot. Quillbot will paraphrase your stuff. So if you want to say something, but you're not really sure, you think it doesn't really sound good, just go to Quillbot. You will paraphrase it, make it sound much better in about 1,000 different ways. So like I said, most of the time you will develop, depending on what you want to do, you'll develop a way to chain these things together to create, like for me, to create the papers as I'm researching, right? Or to put together a nice report for the results of the research. Whatever I need to do, I then chain together a few of these to get the right output. So hopefully this helps.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I also see some questions about the ethical aspect of AI, but also something that is related to the human skills versus the AI technical skills. So, for example, a student is asking, in your opinion, the human skills that become more valuable as AI takes over in technical and repetitive tasks.
Absolutely. If I understand the question, is like if the human skills become more valuable.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. And you will see this as like I work with this AI thing every day, and you will immediately see the limitations. It's awesome, and then suddenly it's not, right? It hits the wall. It does not yet can do what we can do, right? It's a tool. That's all it is. Do not let it, rule, make great decisions of, what's happening overall over your app or, whatever you're designing. It's still you that has to make those decisions and use this as a tool. If you think about it this way, then you can get the best of it. But you still need your own mind and your own knowledge to build something that it's really good. So for sure, creativity, having new ideas, imagination, just empathy, right? Like if I tell the AI, get me, something that I want from, I don't know, Washington, D.C. I'm right now in Virginia, right? And the AI is like, oh, the best way to do that is to declare war on Washington, D.C. and bring you the thing. No, it has no empathy. It doesn't understand, right, the human and society values. So that is what we need to say, hey, we need to put in the guardrails. We need to be that human in the loop. So I think it's more important than ever than we have these skills and we hone these skills in ourselves. We can't ask the tech to be better if we're not better, right? So it kind of goes together.
So I think that this also can connect to another question that is about the possibility to disrupt or replace the jobs that we have today that are, of course, in the human managed.
It's I look at it as a change. Yes, there will be disruption, and we're seeing disruption already, but look at it as a change of how you do the job. And, instead of spending a lot of time typing the same five keys, right, and doing data entry, you don't have to do that. Now you can think beyond that, have the AI do the data entry, and you can think, well, what else can I do to make this job better? How can I, think about it to replace the entire workflow with something better? So I know it's easy for me to say because I have a job and it's hard for people who don't have jobs to listen to this or who lost their jobs because of AI. But to reskilling, upskilling, that's why I'm saying AI literacy for all will help you get that control over the tool instead of feeling like AI is something that happened to you and you have no choice. You will, if you learn it, then you will control and you will understand what is happening.
So you don't think there's the possibility that AI can run out of control?
No, I don't think so, but I'm not, I worked with it for 10 years. I've seen no such thing. So,
Okay, thank you so much. I think that the last one, but not least, of course, related to the AI, and then we'll take the two ones about OPIT specifically, is if you think there is openness or adaptation of management systems to take advantage of these technologies, for example, in terms of healthcare or law or something similar.
oh, absolutely. I think in Europe, we just launched Libra.ai. That is a legal AI assistant that will walk you through contracts, policies, and whatnot. Um, and there's several of these that are out there already. I think ChatGPT just launched a medical. I think it was ChatGPT that launched a medical assistant, so you can ask it medical questions. These are two domains that will be taken over. A lot of the work there will be automated and taken over by the technology. So for sure, I think it's good enough right now that you can trust, but verify. But mostly you can trust the results it's coming up with. So yeah, definitely I see a disruption in there and huge use.
Thank you. Okay, Greta, if you want to, I think we can do a quick overview of the possibilities of OPIT since we have still a couple of minutes, and then we can answer, I think in the presentation, we can answer to the two questions that we have here.
Sure. So, I know we're running a little bit out of time, so I'm going to be quick and give you some information, and then please write to me for any other information and that you require. So, as you've seen, Zorina, she's one of our professors, and we teach different courses, as I said, in technology. Just to give you a snapshot of what we offer, we have the foundation program, then two Bachelor of Science in Modern Computer Science and Digital Business. They all tackle anyway AI. And then for Master of Sciences, the two most important related to AI are responsible AI and applied data science and AI. Then we have one focus on digital business and innovation and the other one in enterprise cybersecurity. So we all start our intakes in September. If you're interested in any of these programs, please do write to us. We're receiving application. We already have students, so I will be happy to guide you. And just to give you very quickly some information also regarding the questions that you asked, our programs are all like, let me go through the methodologies that we have so that you can have a look. So we have live and recorded content every day. So every day you have 1 hour and a half, 1 hour lesson, and that's something that it's live in the afternoon of Central European time, and you have the same amount of asynchronous content. So you can account for 15 hours of content that you need to just watch, rewatch, and digest in a ways. But our methodology is based on a competence-based methodology. So it's not just theory, but a lot of applied in practice. So what is going to happen? You're going to have projects. You can just do projects. Some of them are individual, some of them are in groups, but you will learn by doing. So for instance, Zarina will come up to the class to give a lesson of 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then give you some projects or something to do for the following one. And then you work on that, and then you have assignments. We don't have final exams, but we have progressive assignments and assessments so that you can just practice using maybe AI, using any of the tools that she indicated, so that you can practice and learn something. And we also have master classes like the one we had today. So you just have the possibility to talk to other experts about AI, for instance, or digital business or cybersecurity, and get knowledge from guest speakers. All around, there is this great support. So, for instance, if you want to reach out to Zarina, you can send her an email. You can just write to her on Canvas, our learning management system. You have tutors every day of the week. You have the coordinators and the career service. So this is just to answer your questions. Yes, we do have content every day. You can actually watch the recording of the lessons so that you can spread it throughout the week. We do have projects as well that you can do in groups or individually. So just since we are kind of running out, I just leave you here the requirements. If you're interested in applying, you need just to apply online. We have an application, it's for free. And then once you apply, you upload your documents and you just sign for a motivational interview. We will have an interview with myself or one of my colleagues. And then if everything goes fine, you can start your journey in September. The fees are on a term basis, 2,250. So if you want to do a bachelor, it's 6 terms, it's 13,500 euros. If you want to do a Master of Science, so one in applied data science, for instance, or responsible AI, for 3 terms is 6,750. Then we have scholarships, opportunities to pay in advance, or other discount possibilities. But again, you can write to me and I give you all the details. Also, what is included? Everything is included. You also have the course material, the GitHub, student developer pack, so that you can practice with that. You have the support, the career service, all the support like Google Education Workplace. You also have access to O'Reilly Library, which is a library with a lot of tech books that you can use for free, of course, because it's included in the fee. So this is my contact details, so you can just WhatsApp us or send us an email or visit the website and then contact us, and I will give you more details about the programs, the application, and answer all your questions. Okay.
Perfect, very efficient. Thank you so much. Yes, and of course, I'd like to remind you all students connected that you will receive an email with the recording of this session, since this webinar has been recorded. So if you have missed anything, you can watch the webinar and take the information that you need, and also take a look again at the really interesting presentation of Zarina. And of course, you will receive the email contact and all the contacts of OPIT. So as Greta was mentioning before, if you have any questions related to OPIT, you can do it by writing to the team that is always really available and will answer to you for sure. So I just also write in the chat the link to the certificate, so you can click on it and request it. And would of course like to thank you, Zarina and Greta, for their presence and for the presentation. We have learned a lot, I think, today. So thank you so much. Thanks to all the students connected. We hope to see you very soon. Have a nice rest of the day. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See ya.